Storytime, reading for somebody who's experiencing a haunting. This was about 2012 or 13. I remember it because I was at a hotel on a little bit of vacation. I had visited my mom, and then my husband and I went to like Myrtle Beach, it was. But it's not something that I normally did. And at the time, or do really, but at the time, I was doing readings for free. I did this here and there for people that knew for free for a very long time. But my mom had called me and said, look, a friend of the family is experiencing a haunting. This was the adult child of one of my mom's really good friends. So, of course, I was like, well, I'll see what we can do. And I read for her, and it was beneficial. Gave her some tips and stuff, and it seemed to be helpful. The reading did reveal that she would be taken out of the situation. Work would actually be taking her out of the situation. And so we had finished the reading. This is about what happened after. And this involves a crystal, black obsidian, that I love. And how I look at crystals is that they have symbolic meaning. The symbolic meaning is put out into the ethers. I always say this crystal vibrates at the frequency it was meant to and helps me in the way it was meant to. By setting the intention and opening yourself up to interact with an interface or tool like that, that's what makes it work. I don't look at crystals as having some sort of magical power that does something to you. Everything vibrates with the essence of life, the trees, the earth, stones, rocks. This, of course, I have that perspective, but we tap into that by using a tool. We also can trick the intellectual mind. All we need is our intention, really. But anyways, so I'd done the reading, and it's nighttime. I get off of the line with her, and I can't sleep. I'm in discomfort. I'm pacing. I'm doing like yoga to try to relieve some discomfort and things like this, until 5 a.m. At exactly 5 a.m., I look at the clock, and then I'm out. And I get what I consider a visit from a man who looked old-fashioned, was somewhat dressed, what would I say? Maybe just to impress a little bit, or formal, but still kind of casual. Had like a cowboyish like kind of hat. It became clear that he was sending some like negativity, or, trying to scare me, but I was not, I was just paying attention and sort of engaging, I guess, but it was somewhat disturbing. And then started to get the idea of rejection, being misunderstood. I seen some kids, an old barn-like structure. At one point, I didn't feel it, but I was set on fire and saw him walk away with a child, who I believe was his son. And then I woke up. It was really intense. I was like, whew, oh my God. I was like sweating. And I took the black obsidian. We had visited a mine earlier in that day, and I had sifted it, and I had gotten some raw black obsidian, one of my favorites. And I was like, okay, that's it. I get the data. I get it. I put it under my pillow. We're done. And I go to sleep and have a peaceful night's sleep. So the next day, I contact the young woman, and I'm like, look, I got what I consider a little bit of a visit, and I want to know if it's relation to this male energy that you've been dealing with. Well, I describe him to a T. It is this man that she saw, which she didn't tell me that this had happened to her. Right at 5 a.m. one night, she awoke, and he was standing in her doorway and flew at her, and then she felt like somebody was choking her. She didn't want to tell her mom. She didn't want to tell my mom. She didn't want to tell me. She was freaked out. And so she was able to talk about that, and we talked about it. It was reassuring to her that I had picked up on this energy, and it ended up being a helpful exchange. So some people would call that, like what I experienced, a psychic attack, and those are kind of like trigger words and stuff. I don't look at that experience like that, and so maybe why it was easy for me to cut that off, because fear is like glue. But I look at it like me interpreting data. I wanted to help her, and I needed to see that and to experience that to help her and to validate her and to get her to talk about that experience that she was kind of hiding. Okay. So my intuition was already dialed up, and I'm very grateful for it. And also it tells a story about how one of my favorite crystals helped me and helped me focus my intention. So anywho, let me know what your favorite crystal is, or if you've ever experienced any hauntings or anything like that. Anyway, love you guys.